This is the passenger side fender on my '03 Silverado. The truck's 17 years old, and this is the first surface rust that's showed up. I live in Minnesota. I drove this truck the first 12 years of its life, and then I parked it in the winter ever since. But this started bubbling here, which is notorious for these years of Chevy pickups. But these bubbles, taking a screwdriver and taking off any of the loose paint. I might grab a razor blade and get up underneath there, but I want to get any loose paint off. And it's weird, it's just bubbling all over, but if I let this go, it'll end up, other trucks here in this year, they're rusted up like this, that have been driven every winter. And since I've got this truck too, every spring, get out the garden hose of the sprayer and I spray up underneath all the fenders, everywhere that I can underneath, try and clean these out. And then I take a product called Thrush, which is, it's an oil, it's in an aerosol can, and I spray it in all the little nooks and crannies on the fenders to help protect the backside, any bare metal or anything where salt sits in there. It's corrosive to metal. So this truck is held up really, really well. But just this fender started rusting. It's like, I want the truck to be perfect. But it's not. It's an old truck now. But so I'm going to keep pecking away at this and try and get all this loose paint off. There's one right there. And there's a lot of bubbles. What I found on my other truck, I have a 98 Chevy pickup, and it rusts in one spot on the driver's side down in the back extended cab. And every year I go in there and scrape out the paint, put on some Nutri-Rust, then I put some Rust-Oleum paint on there, and it kind of keeps it down to a dull roar. It doesn't get holes. There's no holes. There's just surface rust. And if you maintain it, it doesn't get super bad, or that's been my experience. Every vehicle's different. Where you live is different. But trying to keep up with it keeps it looking fairly decent. So I'm going to work on this, and I'll be back. I've got this all loose paint off, and I'm going to clean this with some lacquer thinner, remove all the grease and junk so the paint can stick on there real well. I'll let that dry. Now I'm gonna put some Rust-Oleum rust reformer. This is supposed to convert rust into protected paintable surface. I've used this before, it looks pretty decent. So I'm going to put on some goggles and put some of this product on a brush. And I'll finish that up, but then I'm going to go over all these other places where there's bare metal. This is dried overnight, and that stuff I put on, rust neutralizer, actually turns rust black. And now some black paint. I'm going to go over that. I'm resting my little finger on the fender just to try and steady. I'm kind of shaky. coat of paint on that metal. And then I'll go over all the other spots. If to do this, another way would be sand all this down, prime it, and spray it, but then you get overspray. It's a ton more work, and this is just kind of a quick, easy way to fix up the rust spots. And once rust starts, it never stops. The only way to get rid of it is to cut it all out, and that would be take a huge amount of time or a huge amount of money. So I've done this way for years, and it just keeps the rust down to just it slows it down. So I'll finish painting this, and then I'll be back. And the paint is dried, and looks pretty good. It's not perfect. 10 feet, you probably can't see it. Well, working on cars, I kind of look at the 10-foot rule. You know, if you get up closer, very few cars are perfect. Before. But be sure and check out my other videos. Please subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment below. Have a great day.